Greetings to my fellow crafters. How are you doing? How have you been? It's been a couple weeks since the last time I've done a video for you guys. My apologies. I actually, was kind of just preparing and enjoying the Christmas holiday, but now I am back. I've got my sewing area all set up. Actually, I should say my craft space. Even though I primarily do sewing, I do plan on doing a bunch of videos coming up using the Cricut machine. So if you got a Cricut for Christmas, I hope that you will tune in to future episodes of this channel, and we'll walk through some Cricut Cricut projects. Oh my goodness, words are tough. So, but tonight I wanted to show you how to make a hanging storage pod. So these are great for so many different things. I sell these at craft shows when I go to them, and people just love them. They're a good size and they are very practical. This one here is not quite finished yet. I wanted to start the video off with a shown product. So this one is like 90% done. All I have left to do on this one is just to go ahead and do a top stitch all the way around to finish it off. I have white thread in my machine now, and I think that I'm going to do that in purple because the lining in this one is purple. So what you're gonna want to do when to get started in this project, you can get two of these on a fat quarter. So these are they're pretty practical as far as um, the cost of making them. I should say economical. They're pretty inexpensive to make. They make great gifts, in addition to just being something easy and useful to do. I have one set up in my workspace, and I have a couple tubes of lotion in it, and I actually just have it push pinned right into the wall, and it's stayed up with me taking the tubes of lotion in and out of it. I haven't had any problems. It stays right up there. Other people use them for, you can use them for makeup brushes. You can put scrunchies in there, hair clips. I got a barrette in. You could put barrettes in them. Some people, use them for makeup. Like I said, makeup brushes, you could throw in, blush and eyeshadow in there. I have know other people who use them just for like little toiletries. If you go camping and you have a camper, a magnetic hook on a wall, you could put the loop through the hook. You can take them on, so then that would make them something that you could take on a cruise ship, and you can just put any travel size toiletries or whatever in them, and then they're accessible, but they're on the wall, kind of out of the way. So in order to get started with this, you are going to want fabric. You're going to want an exterior piece, an interior piece, and then you need a piece for the hanging loop. So for the exterior piece, you're going to want to cut a piece. So I cut these, you cut them folded. Your material is going to be, you're going to cut on the fold. So they look like this when they're cut. But your fat quarter, it can be folded right in half, and you can get two on the fat quarter, provided you can fold it the long way. So depending on the direction of the fabric, I like to be able to cut it the long way. So I'm cutting it the 21, and then you're going to cut, so they're 10 inches tall. I'll show you so this is, all right, so we're cutting 10 inches tall, and we've got about 8 inches wide. Okay, so you're going to cut your material out, and then you can take from about the 6-inch mark. So when you have that, you can start out by just cutting the square, 10 inches tall, 8 inches wide, and then you can take, you can either, you this is a little bit curved, as you can see, so you can start at the 10, about 10 inches down to 6.5, 6.5, and you can give it a little bit of a cut. You can take like a bowl or a plate or something, and I mean, of course, you don't want it to be super concave, but you can make a mark with like a bowl, trace that out, cut that out, or you can always also download a pattern right off of the internet. There's lots of patterns that are out there, so you can do that as well. But you know, this is a pretty easy pattern to just go right ahead and cut, and I will put the measurements in the description box as well. But you are going to have your piece about 10 inches tall, about 8 inches wide, and of course that's the width is folded in half. So I should have it. So yeah, you can just, you know, it would be very easy. You can just take a pen and just kind of, you know, make a little, and once you have some sort of pattern or template, you can just, you know, keep reusing that over and over again, you know, just on a piece of paper or whatever. And then you are also going to want some lightweight. So I use this fusible interfacing, the Pellon one. This is the PLF 36. So this is real thin. You can always use one that's a little bit fluffier if you wanted to have it look, you know, a little bit more pillowy. And then what I do is I just take a ruler, and you iron, you're going to want to, of course, iron the fusible interfacing on. And then I simply just take a ruler, and I just draw some lines. So I just, you know, I start down at the bottom, I draw lines, go through, do it the other way, so that I've got a little bit of diagonals there. And then I already went ahead and I sewed this up. I figured we didn't need to, you know, spend a whole lot of time walking through that. It's pretty you know, I know you got that. So I already went ahead and I drew the lines on, and then I sewed them on, and that really just helps to keep this fusible interfacing in place. That's all. So then after that's done, you're going to take your fabric and you're going to fold that right sides together, and you can go ahead and pop a couple pins or clips on. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sew we're going to sew all the way down, and we're going to sew along the bottom of the exterior piece. Okay, so we've sewn along here. Now together we're going to go ahead and we're going to sew the bottom of this piece. Okay, so now we've got, now we're going to we're going to box in our corners. So we're just going to pinch this together. We're going to sew that. Okay, and then we're going to take the other side, do the same thing. Okay, so then your next step is you're going to take your lining piece, your interior piece, again, right sides together. You'll pin or clip the long side and the bottom. So we're going to start on this one on the bottom piece first. Okay, now this is very, very important when you do the lining piece of the back. This is the back side. When you do the lining piece of the back side, you want to make sure that you stitch, stop, leave. You need a turning gap. So you're going to start at the top, stitch down, stop, leave a gap, at least a few inches, and then start back up and finish down to this corner. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to box that corner. Okay. there we go. Now what we're going to do is we are going to turn the interior piece right side out. I'm just giving those corners a little bit of a poke with my fingers, okay? Your exterior piece, you're going to leave that turned so that the right side is in. We're going to, oh, I suppose it would be helpful before we get too far ahead of ourselves. Your strap, your hanging loop, you're going to want about 5 to 6 inches long by about 3 inches wide. Now I actually cut this 2 pieces or 2 inches. I think that this is a little bit narrow, so I would continue with the larger. So I'm gonna put in the description box the measurement. I know this is narrower than what I'm going to put in there, and that's because I tried it and I just think that this is too narrow. But what you're going to want to do is you are going to, we're going to insert it with the raw side up. Okay, and now we're going to very carefully, because you don't want it to be all twisted, right like that. Now I'm actually going to move that one in a little bit. Okay, so what I do is I use my center seam, and we're just putting one piece on one side of the center seam and another side of the strap on the other side of the center seam. And then you're going to attach that. And this goes to the exterior piece. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to attach okay, there we go. Now we're going to take the interior piece that's turned right side out. We're going to insert it into the exterior piece. Now starting with the 2 backs, we're going to line that up. Okay. And then we are going to sew all the way around. You can start wherever you want. We're just going to sew all the way around. Okay, so as you could see, as we followed the curves of the pattern and went around, kind of slow down, play with it a little bit, maneuver around a little bit as you need. Okay, so now we are going to pull the lining out and we're going to turn it. Okay. These come together so quickly and they're really fun. All right. So then you are going to want to close this up. So I'm just going to do a straight stitch. All right. Then you can insert that lining piece into the exterior piece. And then the last step really is going to just be to go ahead and do a top stitch all the way around. Sometimes I like to iron these because I feel like you'll get your interior and your exterior pieces laying a little bit better. There we go. And there you have it. like I said, super easy and just practical. So I hope that you enjoy this tutorial, and I hope that you will give me a thumbs up on this. If you have any questions, please feel free to go ahead and leave them in the comments. I will get back to you as soon as I see any questions that are in there, and I hope that you will subscribe to the channel Angela Shows You, because I have lots planned for 2024. So see you next time.